It's because we're all so close to the truth. When do you take flack? When you're over the target. They're coming after us.
Is that what's happening at Columbia University? They're too close to the truth.
That's right.
I don't know. I haven't been. You've been loving that. I haven't been following it.
I don't think you turn the news on. That's why you think I'm loving it, because it's like the biggest news story in the country. That every university basically that holds 50 or 80,000 people or so, they're rioting and protesting and taking up big areas and making the Jews go home and hide. And now the police have been called in a few of the universities. I know UT did it, Texas, and somewhere else. I don't think they've done it in New York. But they're coming and dragging them out and taking the tent cities down and such.
They're taking their tents.
Yeah.
Go back to your dorms, college kids.
Yeah.
Oh, they're putting them in a subsidized dorm at the local jail. They locked up a lot of people today.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, the protesters.
Who's right, Kyle? Who's doing the right thing?
No nuance. Pick a side.
Students have Hamas, and as part of their groups, they talk about, from the river to the sea. They're flying Palestinian flags, chanting "Death to America," and their professors, tenured professors, who are on the board that overlooks all the other professors, are espousing the exact same thing.
I'm still confused. Who's right?
Jewish. A Jew said something. He said, "Get out of here! I don't want you in my classroom." There's hearings going on, people going to jail, and there's like tens of thousands of people.
I missed what you said. A Jewish professor said, "Get out of here" to the protesters.
No,
a left. No, a lefty professor was like, "Jews, get out of here."
Yeah, it was a Jewish student was kicked out of class because they disagreed with something about anyone who supports Israel is a baby. The people who joined the IDF are baby killers. And what was the other thing? Something about Israel being evil and Zionist and genocidal. Oh, no. He defended October 7th. It was his comments on October 7th as well. He was like, it's amazing. We never thought anything like this could be achieved. It's so great. What an achievement. What an innovative solution to the Zionist machine. They made it sound like they had invented a new way to cook popcorn.
Paramotor, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going on this week. Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch. I like seeing people get pepper sprayed, so I'm always down for something like that.
But I watch a lot of politics, more than I try to talk about. I'll see a video that's 4 days old and be like, pish posh, what is this, a history channel? You know, like
even a day old. It's like, I wanted to know what was happening in Israel now. Like I don't I know it was bad yesterday. Show me how bad it got today. Did they burn the children? Did they put lemon juice in their eyes first? What did they do today? Are they throwing yarmulke shurikens? I mean, Star of David shurikens now? Like I never know what to expect. I want to know the most up-to-date thing. Oh, you must be really happy that the vote came through and we got all that funding for Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan.
Oh yeah. Dude, Republicans are such bitches. They're like, we're not going to vote for anything unless there's border control. And the Democrats are like, there's money for Israel. And the Republicans are like, vote.
Well, I think they split it into three and they voted for all of them individually. And I look at it through a different lens and I could be wrong. But Jeff Jackson, he's a House of Rep guy in North Carolina. And I bet you've seen him because he does these really well-spoken TikTok videos where he lays out what's happening. And he praised Mike Johnson. And they're in different teams, whatever. But he's like, this is bad for Mike Johnson's career. But he felt like his conscience required him to put this forward. Even though it's bad for him personally, he felt like it was the right thing to do. And in politics, that's rare. And I was like, okay. So looking at it through
his conscience, I bet it's his largest donors.
This is the guy whose son keeps an eye on his masturbatory habits. You realize that, right? This guy is a true believer. Him and his son have some sort of chastity app where they make sure neither one watches porn and they stay pure. Like this guy is a real deal true believer.
Whatever he wants to do with his son, in their app.
Apps between him and his
I think you misunderstand the nation of the masturbation app.
It's so ridiculous. Another $900 billion, $95 billion. What a joke.
I don't know why you're so upset with these job programs. The majority of that money stays here, goes to American companies in America.
I often hear about the majority where it's received.
A lot of it doesn't.
What's a lot? Because the majority of the money, more than half,
you'll be blown away to know this, that it could all be spent here, or we could not print more money.
So what happens, Taylor?
Tell that to Raytheon. Those poor bastards at Raytheon.
Tell that to Israel. They're just barely scratched.
So when we ship like tanks and Humvees and stuff over there, we're not making them and giving them the new stuff. We're giving them the stuff that was going to be expired out. And the Ukrainians are more than happy to have like 15-year-old American tanks. It's better than nothing. And then America, instead of those tanks going to, I'll make it armored vehicles. Instead of them going to some stupid police force that doesn't need armored vehicles, it goes to Ukraine, and then the army gets a fresh one. I kind of like it.
The artillery shells is the interesting thing because the artillery shells,
we pay for that. We just paid for that with our taxes.
I know it's happening right now, and it's great.
We pay for it at the grocery store with how much inflation's been caused by.
I think in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I remember because of The Office. Like, there's a factory there full of people like us who are working the job because of this. Ththey're
you consider yourself working a job?
I consider myself an American human.
Okay, yeah. I agree.
He's those factories are working overtime, and those are just blue collar, like go in and clock out, making artillery shells. The tubes anyway. They don't deal with the explosive part, but like I kind of like that. It's that doesn't bother me that we're sending artillery shells to shoot at Russians. I mean,
I can kind of get on board.
If there was a box to check, I've always said I wish that it was selective taxation, where like, okay, you can have that much of my money. That's fair. I can vote and legislate, but you pick that number. That's how much of my shit you get. Here's where I allow it to go. It can go to this place. You can send my money here. You can send my money. I'd put a big circle around artillery shells for Ukraine. That's where I want my money to go.
I mean, for you, that's where you'd want it to go. But like, and I saw in polls, like, this is not popular with like American voters, but what's popular with American voters doesn't seem to fucking matter ever. They're going to vote in favor to send our money to foreign countries and protect their interests before ours. We built a border wall for Israel. We built them a border wall.
They needed it.
It's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
Walls only work there.
Taylor's anti-border wall noted.
I'm anti-paying for Israel.
No. You've been heard. Don't say no more.
I would love to take all that money and do literally anything else.
I wonder if America and the world would be a better place if the system Kyle just suggested was implemented, where you're like, you know what? 0 of my money goes to Israel. 0 of my money goes to, I don't know, something else I don't like. But I will check the Ukraine box, and I will check the, I don't know, police department box. Or
they probably couldn't do that because people wouldn't be.
Nobody pay for education. It doesn't work. Like they.
Oh, I think education's pretty popular.
Not when it's your money. Not when it's popular among people who have children. You want all those people who don't have children to not circle that box, because without them, you can't educate. We already can't educate the children.
I hear you, but in my area, whenever they put like school bonds on the thing, they pass like every gosh darn time. On the, there's like questions, answer yes to 1A. You see it in the.
Would you like kids to have more smarter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, based on that grammar.
I don't know.
Yeah, I tend to vote yes, and I like it. It's even more self-serving than you might guess if you're a homeowner, because
I'd rather send my money to Ukraine than to a teacher or to a child to help them learn.
No, Taylor doesn't have any kids, but if his school systems are better, his homeowner the value of his house goes up.
Yeah, like I'm much more okay with funding schools than I am with funding a losing effort in Ukraine.
What about Palestinian schools?
A losing effort. This guy's never heard of a rally cap. Come on, baby. Turn that thing around. We can do this. We're coming back.
Ukraine's having a hard time.
We're getting new stuff next week.
It's over.
We're getting some new stuff.
The Ukrainians don't want to fight. That's why they have to hold them at gunpoint and move 55 men to the lines. It's over.
First of all, they lowered the subscription age down to 25 now from 28 or 27 or whatever it was. Now we're taking the 25-year-olds too. That's going to be fresh blood for the effort. And they're getting the ATACMS missiles next week. They're getting the long-range ATACMS artillery missile thingies. That's going to be good for business. At some point, they're getting more Patriots from the Germans. It's looking good, Taylor.
It's so over.
You're such a nervous Nelly over there. I don't know how. You got to be a team player.
What's the city that they're on the edge of losing? Do you still follow it closely?
If I don't see you wave that flag, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, get your Ukrainian flag.
No, I've said before, I'm not a 2-color flag guy unless they have an animal on it, like Albania.
Sick flag.
Yeah, it's a sick flag.
I don't like detailed flags.
Russia's flag isn't great either if we're ripping on flags.
Russia?
It's France's flag remixed.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like France's flag. I don't like Russia's
but I like
flag.
the Soviet Union flag, kind of.
Oh,
Soviet
shit. That
Union
thing's
flag is
hard.
pretty neat.
I like simple flags.
Hammer and
I like
sickle is
Japan's
legit.
flag is pretty good. I think I'm biased in liking America's flag. If it wasn't America's, I'd call it too detailed.
You see that picture of Trump miscoloring the American flag?
With what? Like green?
No, you know how I don't even know what it starts with. It's like
red, white, blue.
Red. Is that how it goes? Red, white, blue, red, white, blue. I thought it was just red, white, red, right, red, right. Am I crazy? And then the blues where the stars
only
are.
the stars are blue.
Blues on the stars. There's no blue.
So what he did is he did red,
the
and then he
stars
skipped
are-
two
the stars are
spaces
white.
and did red again, I think. And then he had like a double white, and he's like, "Oh, now I'm fucked." But I'm like, I look. There's a lot of things to fuss at about Trump, but that's not on my list. But I did see it, yeah.
It has to start with red at the top. It would look goofy with a white thing at the top.
Mm.
Yeah,
It wouldn't,
he
like,
skipped two spaces.
show-
He went red, white, white, red.
Yeah, and fucked it
And
up.
there was definitely and he's just like, it. And there's kids around him. You know, the whole
it
point
right.
is he's coloring with kids for like a photo op.
That's funny.
I like to believe that he didn't color it all because his hands are shaky, or he's lazy, and someone else had colored it poorly. Maybe a child even. Maybe he took a child, slid it over to him, and give me that. Give me that. This was mine. He goes, this is mine. The kid's like, it says Billy. I'm like, this is the president's. And the Secret
I've
Service is like Billy.
This is what the
That's Mr.
Democrats
Trump.
want. No one gets their own flag.
I've been watching so much trial news that I literally like flipped on Fox News because I'm like, Woody, your information diet is all sugar. I'm just reading about Trump falling asleep and farting like all the time. And which
all
is
he does?
He's fallen asleep 4 out of the 5 days in court. And apparently he's farting loudly and stinkily to the point where his attorneys are like reacting.
Yes, we have a serious media apparatus.
People are flinching, I'm told, from the cacophonous fart.
Right. So I've read that too much, and I'm like, Woody, get your ass on Fox News.
The
You
bailiff
don't have a
drew his
balanced
gun. He
diet
thought
right
there was
now.
an attack.
Fox News is retarded. Like my grandparents will have it
Did you say
on
Fox
sometimes.
News is retarded?
Fox News is retarded. Like I don't think
Okay.
they're any worse than CNN or the
But
rest.
it's still
but,
part
like,
of getting a
I'll
balanced
see
information diet.
Fox News on, and the stuff they're talking about is like, this is like, it's just a guy coming on and being like, now I know some of you are upset that we're just infinitely funding more foreign wars, but it's really important for super duper secret reasons that I can't elucidate fully. And it's like, fuck you.
Mike Johnson actually said something very similar to that. He said that he was against this stuff previously, but now he's in, I think it's called the Gang of Eight, because he's the Speaker of the House. He gets intel that he didn't get previously.
Since I was threatened with problems from intelligence agencies, I've changed my tune.
Oh, come on. That's not
well, I can't know what the details are, but he is saying that now that he's part of the Gang of Eight and he's getting the same intel briefings that a president would get, he's on the other side of the issue. Now you can call that a lie or propaganda or whatever. I can't know, but that's
what he saw. You know what they told him. They told him that Putin doesn't just plan to take a couple of regions in a neighboring country, that he plans to take the country. And then he wants Kazakhstan, and then he wants to invade the Baltics, and he wants Poland. What he wants is to restore the Soviet Union. That's what they told him.
Absurd. He can't invade.
That's absurd. Hitler only wants the Reichland. Leave him alone.
He can't invade Poland.
We will not defend Poland.
Poland is a NATO country.
Oh, that's why. Okay. I was waiting for the reasoning.
Well, he wouldn't want a World War III. I think what they saw is he does want it, that he doesn't think that it'll matter, that he thinks what's happening in Ukraine will play out again, that there'll be a big outrage. He'll take it for a year because he has a huge meat grinder to like throw more people at. A year later, who cares about Poland? Poland? Was it Poland that needed
They
help?
weren't really
Poland
NATO.
Poland is
right?
a NATO country. He can't just invade Poland.
Yeah,
it's
there's
just
different levels of NATO, right? They're not UK.
Yep.
That's the rationale we're given to justify infinite spending. He's not. He's not going to take Poland. That's ridiculous.
I think that.
Do you know any other things about the future? Is there money to be made here?
There clearly is. We just paid for a lot of people.
Because I like some stock tips, if you can tell.
I just don't think a lot of people thought.
I'm saying the reason that he invaded Ukraine when he did is because he wanted to preempt them being involved in NATO. Because if Ukraine was made a NATO country,
the second time he invaded Ukraine, you talking about the second time he invaded Ukraine?
Both times. The second time was principally because we were like, it was finally really getting drummed up of like Ukraine's going to be NATO, and he was like, I'm not cool with that. We're not doing that. because I don't want, NATO military bases close to my border. And so he invaded Ukraine before they could be put in NATO in order to avoid what would happen if he invaded a country like Poland, which would be a swift and gigantic response from NATO nations, which he can't handle.
Which ones? Which ones are so tough and scary that he can't deal with?
Spain, the United States,
none of them have the production. So what the reports say is that all of Europe are so bad at manufacturing weapons of war because they haven't had to do it. Yeah, they have stockpiles, but now they've depleted those stockpiles by giving them to Ukraine. So now if a hot war goes off there, they can't defend themselves for weeks or months. They'll be overrun. They'll run out of bullets.
I don't think Russia has the manpower to invade Western Europe, and
they've done it before.
Really don't want to, at this juncture in history. I don't think they can compete economically or militaristically with an alliance of Germany, France, Spain, the United Kingdom, Poland, the United States.
I don't know about you, but I can't tell what's true anymore. I read somewhere I read they have more tanks now than they did at the start of the Ukrainian conflict, and I'm like, what?
Their army's bigger. Their army's bigger now than the beginning.
They have good manufacturing for military stuff. They do. And so, but I would struggle to believe they have more tanks now than at the beginning. But I don't know.
I do too. But I read it was on the internet, so it's true.
It was on the internet, so it's true.
I don't know about tanks, but definitely manpower because they just brought up more men.
But there was a time when I read that Russia's economy was hurting because they lost so many fighting age men, which are some of the most productive people in a country. Like a million left the country so they wouldn't get conscripted, and then another million joined the war effort. I'm making up numbers, but go with it. And now that's a huge drain on a national productivity. And now we go forward, 30 months? I don't know how long it's been. And you're telling me you're better than you were 30 months ago? You have more tanks than before? You have a bigger army than before? I can't tell what's true.
Yeah,
so that would be my guess, though. If I had to guess, that it's that there is a potential for a new Axis powers with China, and who's clearly supporting Russia in their war effort. We're going to censor China. We're going. What do you do when you hit them with economic sanctions? We're going to sanction China this week because of their support for the Russian war effort in Ukraine. That's happening now. I don't know. I see Indian fighters fighting for Russia who are being paid. It's
like mercenaries.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's significant.
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw one on the battlefield get blown up.
It's so easy to I don't know. Take one Jewish protester. They get poked in the eye, and then suddenly, oh man, the Jewish people are anti-Semitism is sweeping America.
Example,
this tiny little example is whatever, or to take one dead child.
Icarus over here.
Can we talk? I know it's getting
news 10 years ago, and I don't now. I'm sorry.
So, have you been following what's going on at Columbia?
A little.
All right, mass student protests. They've created a tent city, and it is big. Helicopters pan over the tent city. It's a whole huge area, and they've got nice tents because they're all Columbia students.
Sure, yeah.
And they got fucking
REI tents.
Yeah, they're out there in fucking circles singing songs and shit. Got their Palestinian flags everywhere. They're chanting
Wall Street.
They're chanting scary slogans and stuff stop the genocide now. And
that's bad.
But lots of assaults, lots of arrests. The president resigned. The faculty walked out today as in support. So that's probably not a great look. I don't know if that's Columbia or not, but NYU is a similar situation. The tent city I saw I see palm trees. So,
I understand your skepticism. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Kyle showed me a picture though. It's kind of it's a tent city. It looks like that.
Yeah. There you go. That's it.
That's the exact picture. That's the same 4 orange tents.
But then today, to sort of make your point, Woody, I saw a Jewish woman wearing a shirt that said Jew on it, and on the back it had I don't know, it's a flag.
Israel.
And she was and she just went and stood in front of these people, but it wasn't during a rowdy time. It was while they were chilling and just sitting over there peacefully for real. And she's just standing there Jew here. Anyone want some? Jew here. She's like, she's literally turning, to face east, north, south, and west. She's doing her cardinal turns, presenting herself as Jew woman who will stand.
Wait, are you telling me the media is pretending the anti-Semitism there is worse than it is?
The anti-Semitism there is serious. All right,
she was participating.
The Jews had to go home from fear. All the Jewish students were sent home out of.
But wait, okay. So I saw a Jewish woman participating in this debate. I think she might have been a Columbia student, and she was on there talking about how they beat her and hurt her eye and this and that. 0 visible injuries, and it was like 3 days ago. I'm like, bitch, if you're completely fine, telling me
they have a healing factor.
Okay, Wolverine.
Potions.
Like I'm not buying your story. There isn't a mark on, like, no scratches, no evidence of hair pulling. Like, it is so nothing.
What are you implying? She's lying is anti-Semitism in its purest form.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
Harkening back
uncritically
to the slurs of the old.
Yeah.
Speaking of the.
I'm a big enough UFC fan that I know post-fight. She didn't look like that.
That shit is fucking ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the students were told to stay home. All the Jewish ones were, for
out of
safety.
Abundance of caution.
Wow, they get all their special holidays, and now they don't have to go to school at Columbia. Dude, if I were Jewish, I'd be playing this up for everything I could. I'd be like, I'm so sad I can't study at all. I can't imagine taking all my tests coming up. I can't even fathom it. Better just give me an A.
I think this is going to be this is how Trump wins. Like it's all of this craziness. If things were smooth sailing, no wars in fucking Europe, no tent cities, all
those people are going to vote for Biden.
If fentanyl wasn't a thing.
Destiny, Bill Maher, I feel like they're out there representing progressive or liberal or whatever views without being fucking wackos that think men menstruate. Like it's like these are my people. Destiny. I saw him in that Fox News debate. He's pro Second Amendment like me, and he just dropped in like I love the Second Amendment. I just got a sick 9/11 yesterday, and it was like, yeah, like if I'm a Fox News viewer and that's the liberal I'm watching, I think, oh, so they're not all fucking overweight, septum, flabby tricep waving women screaming about something, right? Purple hair, flabby tricep. You can picture this.
He has purple hair. You're describing.
Destiny. Destiny might sometimes does have purple hair. Yes.
And I think he has doesn't he have like a?
But he's not a girl with a nose ring.
I think he has a modern sort of relationship situation as well, right? Like maybe some sort of throuple or open situation.
I don't keep up with them much.
I think Kyle's on target. Yeah.
There's no way she left his successful ass, Zach. I choose to disbelieve that.
Choose to disbelieve that.
But yeah. So anyway, when I saw him loving the Second Amendment and talking about like what he liked about America, I was like, this is the guy who I think represents my side a little better. I get very frustrated when it's some cry bully, being upset that like you're supposed to give me a safe space. It's like
Bill Maher's your guy. All right, so I so rarely. Good. I agree with Bill Maher so much. I'll say this. I agree with 95% of Bill Maher's segments. I sent you 8 minutes of a segment on WhatsApp. If you scroll up, and there's one part where he's like, some of you people will support your own party even when its chosen message is kid fucking. like his whole. He's like, here's a 5-year-old tipping a trans stripper with a sign on the wall that says it's not gonna lick itself. And there's a video of it happening. So which is he's presenting his ideas viscerally. Like he's got video evidence of children being exposed to fucking nonsense, and he's just tearing down that part of the left piece by piece by piece while circling the horses around himself and look, I'm for this and I'm for that, but who are you people? Yeah, it's really good. I like Bill Maher.
I do not. I've never found him funny.
Yeah, I think he's. I'm not looking for exactly comedy. I really enjoy the way that he makes his points and how he boils things down, and that it's a liberal voice making sense, like what he said.